Good morning. May I ask everyone to take their seats, please? Secretary Patterson, this means you.
Gavel them down. Gavel them.
Damn it. Pay attention. Chief Taylor's one of the worst. I hereby call this meeting to order. We have three special guests, Bobby Stem, of course, with AOGC, Mike Patterson, former Secretary of Transportation, and Tom Robbins with Work Zone Safe. Where's Mr. Robinson back? Thank you very much. The Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn?
Over here.
Mr. Grimsley?
Grimsley here.
Mr. Shannon?
Here.
Mr. Freimiller?
Freimiller here.
Mr. Dyson?
Dyson here.
Mr. Alexander? Mr. LaForge?
LaForge here.
Mr. Junk?
Here.
Mr. Peterson?
Here. Thank you. Item 33 is approval of the minutes of the Transportation Commission meeting on February 5th, 2024. Do I have a motion for approval of item 33?
So moved, Grimsley.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second, Dyson.
LaForge.
Second, Dyson, here. Any discussion? Thank you. Please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much. The consent docket contains items 34 and 35. If any commissioner would like to pull an individual item out for discussion, he may do so at this time. Otherwise, I'll hear a motion for approval of the consent docket.
Move to approve. LaForge.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Second.
Very good. Any discussion? Please cast your vote. Thank you. Motion passes. Item 36 is to be stricken from the agenda at this time due to advice from Council Penn that said that the agenda item was not descriptive enough for public disclosure, and so it did not meet the standards, and so we're simply not able to discuss that. I would like to vote that we strike that item and move on to 37. So may I have a motion to strike or to strike 36?
So a yes is to deny it?
Correct.
Or to approve the removal?
To approve the strike,
Gotcha.
if you
Okay.
will.
Thank you.
And that is, was that Commissioner Coburn?
Yes.
Okay, and do I have a second?
Grimsley, second.
Thank you. Any discussion? It will come up next month, Ms. Ben? Yes. Yeah, it'll come up again. So all in favor of voting to strike this, vote yes, please. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item 37 is engineering contracts. Mr. Tegler, you are recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Mr. Director. Engineering contracts number 37, I have 5 parts this month. 2 of them are statewide, 3 are project specific, and those 3 are included in the 8-year construction work plan. Part A, all districts statewide, all off-system bridge inspections. The National Bridge Inspection Standards, NBIS, require that all bridges on public roads be inspected once every 2 years. The department has qualified the following consultants to perform off-system bridge inspections. They are Burgess & Nyepel, CEC Corporation, Consor Engineers, Garver, Guy Engineering Services, and Walter P. Moore and Associates. The aggregate not to exceed amount for these 6 contracts is $10,226,110. Part B, all districts, statewide, off-system bridge inspections. The National Bridge Inspection Standards, as previously in Part A, require that all bridges on public roads be inspected once every 2 years. The department has qualified the following circuit engineering districts to perform off-system bridge inspections. They are Circuit Engineering District 2, Circuit Engineering District 3, Circuit Engineering District 4, Circuit Engineering District 7, and Circuit Engineering District 8. The aggregate not to exceed amount for these 5 contracts is $3,359,600. Part C in District 3, Lincoln County. The department has selected Guy Engineering Services to prepare construction plans for State Highway 18. The proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility and add shoulders to a 2-lane road. The total not to exceed amount is $1,524,680. Part D in District 3, McLean County. The department has selected Hudson Prince Engineering and Inspection to provide preliminary engineering and construction plans for State Highway 76. The proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility and add shoulders to a 2-lane road. This is also phase 1 of 2-phase contract. The total not to exceed amount is $1,089,257. And finally, Part E in District 4 in Oklahoma County. The department has selected HNTB Corporation to provide preliminary engineering and construction plans for I-40. The proposed project improvements are reconstruct, rehabilitate the existing facility, add capacity to the roadway, geometric improvements, and replace bridge on existing alignment. This also is a phase 1 of 2-phase contract as well. Not to exceed amount is $2,577,838. Approval is recommended. I'll stand for any questions.
Question on B, who is actually receiving the funds?
Who's receiving the funds?
Yes.
As far as, I'm sorry.
Well, we're setting aside $3.359 million. It's going to District 2.
Right.
So
that is
simply
a
to add to their
county-
budget.
It's county districts. So
Okay.
these are county, they're off-system bridges.
Okay.
So the county have their own resources to do these inspections. That is just similar to Part A, but those are engineering firms. So these are county districts.
This is going to counties. Okay,
Yes,
all right.
yes.
Thank you. Fine.
Thank you for clarification.
You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 37?
Motion Dyson.
Thank you. And a second?
Second, LaForge.
Thank you. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item 38 is engineering contract supplements. Mr. Tegler, you're recognized to continue.
I have 2 parts this month. Both of them are project specific, and they are also included in the 8-year construction work plan. Part A in District 1, Cherokee County, the department previously authorized Hudson Prince Engineering and Inspection to prepare construction plans for US 62. Proposed project improvements are intersection modification and adding sidewalks. Total not to exceed amount is $4,350. And Part B, District 4, Oklahoma County, department previously authorized MacArthur Associated Consultants to prepare construction plans for State Highway 152. The project improvement proposal is adding capacity to roadway, adding traffic control devices, and geometric improvements. Total not to exceed amount is $78,656. Approval is recommended. I'll stand for any questions if you have any.
Great, thank you. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 38?
LaForge, so moved.
Forge, thank you. And a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Shannon. Any discussion?
Yeah, just a comment if I could. I really appreciate the link, the public access link we have in this. It just helps with transparency, so I appreciate that. So thank you.
Very good. Good point. All right. Thank you. No discussion. Any more discussion, rather, please vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item 39 is change orders with a cumulative total of $75,000 or less. This is for your information only. Mr. Leonard, you're recognized to present.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Yes, item 39, parts A through Y. These are change orders on projects which have a cumulative total of change orders of $75,000 or less. This item is presented for your information only, but I'd be glad to answer any questions.
If there are no questions, Mr. Leonard, you're recognized to present item 40, change orders with a cumulative total greater than $75,000.
Yes, sir. Item 40, parts A through double H. These are change orders on projects which have a cumulative total of change orders greater than $75,000. Your approval is recommended, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Please.
Mr. Leonard, could you just expand a little bit on the kind of the contract growth that we experienced?
Yes, sir, Mr. Commissioner. We track our contract growth, which is the amount contracted, amount awarded, and we compare that to the as-built quantity, the as-built amount. And we track that on a state fiscal year. Most other DOTs around the country are hesitant to share that number with us, but some that do, their numbers range, 5, 10, 15, 20%. Oklahoma has always been proud of the fact that we run less than 4%. In fact, I have that sheet right here. We have not been above 2% except once in the last 16 years. And our current contract growth for fiscal year 24 is 0.41%. So we're less than 1%.
Thank you.
And our as-built numbers include any kind of incentives, asphalt binder adjustments, fuel adjustments, smoothness incentives, things that are not included in the original contract, which a lot of other states do. So I'm very proud of our numbers.
Yeah, very impressive.
Our guys do a great job.
Very good.
Thank you for asking that.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 40?
Motion, Junk.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Brian Miller, thank you. And a discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item 41 is the Industrial Access Program. Ms. Wheeler, you are recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. Item 41 is an addition to the Industrial Access Road Program. The City of Chandler is requesting approval for an industrial access project on Thunderbird Road. Thunderbird Road provides access to the headquarters of the Oklahoma National Guard 1st Battalion, 160th Field Artillery Regiment, and Highland Dairy Foods. Highland has recently invested $2.5 million into their facility, creating 10 new jobs and bringing their total to 270 full-time jobs. The proposed project begins at the intersection of Thunderbird Road and State Highway 18 and extends west approximately 0.5 miles. The city is requesting a width of 22 feet with a total overlay of 3.5 inches. The city will perform any needed base repairs in preparation for the project and will also be responsible for maintenance and repairs after completion. The department's participation shall not exceed $486,000. Approval is recommended. I'll be happy to answer questions.
Thank you. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 41?
Motion, Dyson.
Thank you. And a second?
Freimeller, second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Please cast your vote. Thank you, Ms. Wheeler. Motion passes. Item 42 is claim for additional payment. Mr. Davis, you are recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Item 42 is claim for additional payment. This will be in two parts. Part A is in District 2, Marshall County, State Highway 32 over Huani Creek. The bridge The bridge rehabilitation contract was awarded by the Oklahoma Transportation Commission on March 7, 2022 to C3 Construction Incorporated for a total contract amount of $7,421,539.28. Contract time was 370 calendar days. In the second phase of the project, the contractor was drilling the final drilled shaft and hit an obstruction. The contractor made a proposal to ODOT to try and core through the obstruction. In the attempt to core through, the contractor and their subcontractor, Midwest Foundations, lost a casing and a specialty core bit. Multiple attempts were made to retrieve this lost equipment and were unsuccessful. It was determined by C3 and ODOT that a redesign would be necessary to complete the project. ODOT requested that C3 provide a proposal to install the remaining shaft. C3 proposed the design of a straddle shaft to complete the work. The proposal was approved with a total estimated cost of $1,200,000 or $1,200,474.04. Due to this amount causing the total of new items on the contract to exceed the statutory defined limit of 10% on projects $1 million or greater, approval of this claim is needed to compensate the contractor for completing the work as redesigned. The entitlement for this claim is recognized by the department, and it is recommended that the Commission authorize a settlement in the amount of $354,584.40. Part B is in District 3 in Lincoln County, State Highway 66 near Wellston. This widen and resurface contract was awarded by the Oklahoma Transportation Commission on August 2nd, 2021 to Haskell Lemon Construction Company for a total contract amount of $6,999,820. Contract time was 270 calendar days. During the construction operations, multiple utility conflicts were encountered from December 21st, 2021 until January 20th, 2023, of which about 157 days were determined to impact the critical path of work. The utility conflicts were located on the State Highway 66 realignment, the State Highway 66B widening, and the Addition Road realignment, and involved multiple utilities. The contractor continued to work by redirecting the earthwork activities. These modified earthwork operations led to longer hauling distances and other inefficiencies compared to their original schedule of construction activities. Although construction was able to continue, the overall project was delayed, causing an increase in overhead expenses. The resident engineer and contractor agreed to use the quick resolution for compensation for delay or loss of overhead within the ODOT construction control directives to reach the settlement amount of $502,219.34. Because the majority of the amount exceeds the statutorily authorized 10% limit on new items for projects over $1 million, Commission approval is required and is requested for the difference. The entitlement for this claim is also recognized by the Department, and it is recommended that the Commission authorize a settlement in the amount of $450,687.11 to complete the settlement. Approval is recommended, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 42?
So moved.
So Commissioner Shannon, and a second?
Second, LaForge.
LaForge, thank you. Any discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you.
Item 43 is delegation of change order approval authority increase. This is for information only. Mr. Davis, you're recognized to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, item 43 is for information only. Oklahoma Statute Title 61, Section 121 provides that the Commission may, by rule, authorize the Director of the Department of Transportation to approve change orders in an amount not to exceed $500,000. Commission Rule Chapter 730 1-5-1-2D grants that $500,000 approval authority to the Director on a construction contract. The rule also allows that the Director may further delegate to the field district engineers authority to approve and execute change orders and supplemental agreements in the total amount not to exceed $150,000 on a contract. Furthermore, the statute and rule states that the change orders approved under this delegated authority shall be presented to the Commission and the reasons therefore recorded in the permanent records. Effective March 11, 2024, the Department will begin processing change orders under the $150,000 delegated approval authority. Any change order approved by a field district engineer and submitted to the ODOT Construction Division prior to that date will be presented to the Commission for their approval, subject to the current $75,000 authority level. Change orders submitted to the ODOT Construction Division on March 11, 2024, and thereafter will be processed under the increased delegated approval authority beginning with a May 2024 Commission meeting. Change orders approved by the field district engineer under the delegated approval authority, those change orders that result in a cumulative total of $150,000 or less on a contract will be presented as information only to the Commission. Again, this is information only, but I would be happy to answer any questions the Commission may have.
Yeah, Commissioners, I think we've been briefed on this, and so if we are in approval, we don't need to further discuss it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Item 44 is proposed bid openings. Ms. Bryant, you're recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Item 44 proposed bid openings consist of the final April 2024, the tentative May 2024, and the tentative June 2024 bid opening. The Department recommends approval.
Thank you. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 44?
Motion, Dyson.
Mr. Freimiller, I think, spoke first, and we'll assume Mr. Dyson will provide the second. So any discussion, Commissioners? No? All right, hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Ms. Davis. Item 45, Mr. Goka, you are recognized to present. Item 45 is awards, excuse me.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Item 45 is the recommendations for awards from the February bid openings and one project from the January 18th, 2024 bid opening. And it will be in three parts. Part A is an item that was deferred at the February Commission. And the following item referred to by call order was deferred from the January 18th, 2024 bid opening. It is now recommended that this item be awarded, call order 221. Part B, from the February 8th, 2024 regular bid opening, it is recommended that the following items from the February 8th, 2024 bid opening referred to by call order be awarded. 300, 305, 310, 315, 320, 325, 330, 335, 340, 350, 355, and 360. Part C. It is recommended that the following items from the February 15th, 2024 bid opening referred to by call order be awarded. 400, 406, 412, 418, 424, 436, 442, 446, and 448. This concludes the recommendations for awards, and your approval is requested.
Thank you. You've heard the presentation. Commissioners, do I have a motion for approval of item 45?
So moved, Grimsley.
Thank you. And a second.
Second, Junk.
Second, Junk. And any discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Goka.
All right, thank you.
Item 46 is the Director's Report. This is for information only. Director Gatz, formerly known as Secretary Gatz, you are recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to talk just for a minute, if I might, about the Attorney General's opinion. And obviously that was related to multiple office holdings. And one thing I want to emphasize is the Attorney General did give us a heads up. So at no time was the continuity of operations within the agencies at risk, and certainly we want to recognize that. Also, the opinion, once it's issued, has the effect of law, which we acted immediately to conform with, and the end result of that was me stepping down in my role as Cabinet Secretary and the director reappointing me as director of the Department of Transportation. And again, that has transpired. The directorship is subject to confirmation through the Senate. So again, that's pending. So wanted to at least touch base on that, assure the commission that again, the agency operations were at no time at risk, and we are looking forward to moving ahead and continuing the good progress of the Department of Transportation. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'd pause and certainly answer any questions that the commission might have of me related to that.
It was discussed at the subcommittee levels, each of the subcommittees, and so I think we thoroughly understand what transpired, so thank you.
Very good. On the federal funding front, I want to touch base quickly on some activity that's transpired. As you were aware, the continuing resolution that we were operating under expired on March 1st. The Congress did act to renew a continuing resolution that will carry us through March 22nd. That enables us to access about $41 million of our federal budget this year, which again, in the context of our operations, is not a lot of capability. But we will continue to do as we have and use that judiciously to try to deliver projects as we can. With reading the information that was coming out of Washington, D.C., and really kind of paying attention a little bit, and we've maintained good communication with our delegation, you know, we think that there's reason to be optimistic that we may be able to get to a full appropriations bill here in the near future, and we certainly look forward to that. And not only do we look forward to it, it's needed. We really need to get about the business of setting up our lettings, construction contracts, our contracting efforts, and our operations for that matter, with a look to getting to the end of the federal fiscal year. So again, we're optimistic that the Congress will act accordingly, and looking forward to moving ahead. Want to touch on something that doesn't happen very often. We have a total solar eclipse coming to a part of Oklahoma in the not too distant future. That's set to occur on April the 8th, but it's not too early to start talking about it. And certainly I want to take the chance to advise the traveling public as far as what our preparations have been and what conditions they should expect, because they will be challenging to say the least. District 2 and the department have been coordinating very carefully with local, state, and federal officials for more than a year. So we're working with OHP, we're working with the Office of Emergency Management, also with the Turnpike Authority, and we will have personnel on site during the eclipse and working closely hand in hand with OHP and their mobile command, so we can quickly respond to anything that might come up. A couple of things that we've done is, we're looking at pausing maintenance activities and taking a hard look at our construction projects to make sure we can optimize traffic flow out of the area. And the area will be concentrated in McCurtain County, in the southeast corner of the state. However, the effects will be more broad sweeping than that. We expect traffic conditions will be somewhat problematic across the southeast region, and I think when you look at part of our preparations, one of the biggest challenges we're going to have is communicating with the drivers that are in their vehicles. That's always extremely challenging. We try our best to utilize the outlets that are available to us, like social media. I would encourage everybody that's going to be in the area, and for that matter, all citizens of the state that are traveling the highways, download our Drive OK app. Because again, that application has a lot of information available to you at your fingertips. It's going to be crucial that we are able to communicate with drivers in the area during that time period. And I think when you look at traffic conditions, I think we will see that the folks that are trying to view the eclipse will trickle into the area at a slower pace. But when the eclipse is over, everybody's going to try to leave at once. And I think that's where we're going to have our biggest traffic challenges. That kind of follows the pattern that we've seen across the U.S. when other states have dealt with these types of conditions. So we're putting out some additional portable cameras, so we'll have some live visuals that'll help us and also help the traveling public. We will have changeable message boards at key locations across certainly District 2. And they're going to use those to communicate with the drivers. And then we're going to have various other technologies where we can monitor traffic flow and then funnel that information back to our website, so the traveling public can make access to that information, use it to their benefit. A couple things I want to ask, and we'll have one more commission meeting between now and then, so we'll emphasize this again. But one of the things we want to ask drivers is please don't stop on the highway during the event, because again, that creates congestion and traffic queues that can result in secondary accidents along the routes. And once those traffic queues build up, they can take hours to clear. That's only going to exacerbate the conditions that we're going to find in the area. And turn on your headlights, obviously. Most everybody I think's got automatic headlights now, but for those that don't, we want to be prepared because the condition changing. This is planned to be a total eclipse, and the light conditions are going to change dramatically. Be aware of and watch out for pedestrians, because somebody is going to pull off on the side of the road and get out of their vehicle, and that's going to create a dangerous situation in itself. And then again, and one of the things that we've talked a little bit about is, if you can, you might hang around in the area for a little bit, maybe go eat at a restaurant, spend some time in the area, and let traffic conditions begin to normalize again before you try to leave. So again, we're going to need the traveling public's help, certainly going to need their awareness, because if you go into the area, you got to anticipate that the traffic conditions are not going to be ideal. We will do everything we can to try to be ready for it, and are doing everything we can, but it's still going to be bad. So just want to bring that to the traveling public's attention. We are bringing into operation some new operational cameras across the network. We've got 5 locations in Oklahoma City on I-40, State Highway 152, and I-35, and 6 locations in Tulsa County along 412, US 75, and State Highway 51. And these cameras are going to be added to over 500 that we've got that, again, is already part of oktraffic.org and the website and the Drive OK app. And the most important emphasis is all of that's viewable to the traveling public. So again, these are operational cameras that provide you with a glimpse into what traffic conditions are at any given moment, and certainly can be used to everything from route planning to looking at inclement weather and inclement weather conditions. So moving ahead with expansion of those operational cameras that have served very well. And again, I think that's a good direction. Anything that we can provide to the traveling public to help them make good decisions is important to us. I want to talk a little bit about our maintenance yards and our maintenance headquarters progress that we've got on trying to build some new ones. And again, we've got a maintenance yard in every county and a lot of interstate maintenance units. And a lot of those buildings and facilities are not in great shape. They're extremely challenging for our workforce to work out of. We've tried to put together a plan, but there are so many of those locations that are of the same vintage that it's going to be extremely challenging for us to bring those up to a good state of repair, a good standard. One of the things we're looking at is, can we combine operations where it makes sense and concentrate maybe a couple of counties together, maybe an interstate maintenance unit together. And we've got a couple of those going on. Tonkawa Interstate and K County Maintenance. We're pulling together in one location. That's going to be on US 60 just west of I-35. That facility is about 50% complete. We look forward to opening it by late summer of 2024. And, you know, that's just one example. We've got others. Jay Earp in District 7 are working on one at Carter County that'll combine the Carter County yard with the Ardmore Interstate yard and the Love County facility. So we have to get innovative about how we manage these facilities, and that's just another part of our transportation infrastructure, that vertical construction. So we've really got to take a hard look at where we can leverage. And quite frankly, our operations out of a more centralized location have the ability to cover a much larger area than we have in the past. That's just the nature of our business, the improvement in equipment and technology, so we can be more responsive out of that centralized location. So I very much appreciate the team taking a hard look at this, because looking at some level of co-location of those types of facilities is the only way we're going to be able to get our arms around this problem with the, again, deficient infrastructure out there in our operational locations. Some of the projects that are up and coming, US 69 resurfacing project in McIntosh County in District 1. That's a 7-mile long project, US 69 between Chakota and Eufaula. This ties into the project that we just recently completed there in Eufaula. $8 million contract. That is work that's going to take us about 3 to 4 months to complete, and that's weather permitting, so we're going to move quickly, but it will be one lane in each direction on US 69, and the type of traffic that US 69 carries, that's not going to be a lot of fun for those 3 or 4 months, especially during the time of year, because it is going to be in the middle of lake season, so I want the public to be mindful of that. This is asphalt work, and again, we've got to do that during warmer temperatures, and we're going to do the best we can with it and work really hard to get in and get out of there. But again, and nonetheless, it will be disruptive, and we ask once again the traveling public for their attention and their patience while we work our way through that improvement. And that surface condition definitely needs it, needs some work, needs some help. Appreciate District 1 getting after it. Want to talk a little bit about two Lawton projects. We've got one that this morning was given consideration, Gore Boulevard, and that's between 82nd and 67th Street. About a $13 million project that's just over a mile long, and it's on the south side of town. That includes drainage, bike lanes, sidewalk, traffic signal installation. We expect it to get started this summer, but I wanted to call particular attention to that because that's a partnership between the department and the city of Lawton. And again, this is a city the size of Lawton has a metropolitan planning group, but they don't have a dedicated revenue stream necessarily like ACOG and NCOG. We often work with communities to try to prioritize and help with some improvements on their city street system that we don't necessarily have jurisdictional authority over, but certainly it's the right thing to do, and we try to get some of that work done. So wanted to call your attention to that. Great project. Likewise on US 62 in Rogers Lane, we've got a project that's a $3.5 million improvement that's focused simply on safety, and that is looking at the turns across several lanes of traffic, replacing some guardrail and doing some upgrades to the traffic signals. And again, we expect that one to start sometime late summer or early fall. So, on the safety campaign front, I want to remind everybody, and I don't know how it's possible, but here we are on the first week of March, and first full week of March, and coming up on spring break. So, want to remind everybody that we do see a increase in traffic out on the highways during spring break. We've got families that'll be traveling around the state, taking in some of our tourist opportunities, and we want everybody to be mindful of that traffic increase. And also, if you're out there, make sure you buckle your seatbelt and buckle everybody in the vehicle with you, and be careful out there on the highways. We saw it over the weekend with warmer temperatures, at least I certainly did while I was out and about, and that is an increase in motorcyclists out on the highways. I always want to call attention this time of year in particular, and we will continue to talk about this in the coming months, but motorcycle safety is extremely important to us, and we want to remind the traveling public that we're going to see a lot of our two-wheeled travelers out there on the highway system. The top three contributing factors for motorcycle crashes are unsafe speed, improper movements and lane changes, and following too close, and certainly it's the vehicular traffic that they're involved and engaged with that, you know, they're sometimes difficult to see. You've got to really pay extra attention to what's going on around you. And motorcyclist safety is everyone's safety. Ultimately, safe driving and riding practices in cooperation with all road users will help us reduce the number of fatalities and injuries on our highway system. Always remember, as I said, buckle up, put away your distractions, and slow down and observe those posted speed limits. With that, Mr. Chairman, I would stand for any questions that the commission might have of me. Or
Thank you. Do commissioners have any questions or comments?
Just a quick comment. I think there's just some general common sense rules on the clips, you know, top your tank off and things like that. You don't want to run out of gas or be stuck on the side of a two-lane highway.
Sage advice, Commissioner.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Director Gatz.
Thank you.
Thank you. If commissioners have no other comments, then I'd hear a motion for item 47, which is adjournment.
Motion, Dyson.
Thank you. And a second? Thank you. Please cast your vote. We're not getting the signal.
All those in favor, stand up and leave.
There we go. All right.
There it is.
Motion passes. We're adjourned.